Hi everybody, let's jump right in with these drawings. Welcome back if you're a subscriber, and if you're new to the channel, hello, nice to meet you. I'm Caitlin, and I'm gonna draw and talk a lot about my experience with the 100 Heads Challenge. So I made my own Pinterest page and chose all my own heads, and I was really excited to draw some faces I'd never drawn before. Gotta be honest with you guys, I've been putting off making this video because I'm not a quitter. I like to finish the things that I start, and I just felt so bad about not finishing this challenge for a really long time. I worked as hard as I could work on it, but it never seemed to be enough, and I know that I was putting that pressure on myself, but still in the end I realized that what started as a project to help me gain mastery over drawings of people's faces ended up as kind of a torture device that I was using to make myself feel worse every day. So anyway, I ended up only drawing 40 heads, and I included all of them in the video. As I went on, one of the things that actually ended up making me dislike this was filming everything I was doing, because at that point I was only able to work on drawing these heads. That was like all I could do in a day, because if maybe you're new to the channel, you don't know, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so mostly I take care of my daughter, and I have to sort of fit in my artwork between the time-consuming task of raising a toddler. I was feeling really excited at the beginning. You know, anytime you start a challenge, whether it be physical or an art challenge, or any kind of like new initiative to change your life, you get this like pump of hope, and I was able to kind of ride that out for the first maybe 18 heads even, but it started to become a thing that I would not say dread, but like I would start to avoid it more and more, because I knew I was behind on my goal. I never drew 10 heads in a day. I'm pretty sure the most that I was able to draw in one day were 6 heads. And that could be because I'm making them too detailed or what have you, but I felt that I was behind my goal from the get-go. By the 3rd or 4th day, I started to really hate this 100 Heads challenge. And I will say that this is not the first time I started the 100 Heads challenge. It's actually the 3rd time. This is the farthest I ever made it. I've never, still to this day, drawn 10 heads in one day. I'm not sure I ever will, because it maybe isn't a goal that is something that I want to achieve anymore. It doesn't really mean anything to me now. That was one of the things that really came of this challenge, is like realizing that actually producing art more quickly doesn't mean anything to me. It actually isn't that important to me that I be able to draw so quickly. And I think actually once I let that go, I was able to kind of loosen up, and funny enough, I am faster drawing portraits than I ever was now. And after a hiatus too of drawing portraits for it's almost been 2 months now. But yeah, I mean, I stopped drawing heads or anything altogether. I avoided my studio. By the end of this challenge, I just kind of felt like drawing these heads was a chore. It was like one more thing I needed to get done on my checklist, and that to me is not what art is about. Really, to me, my art practice, my artistic practice, has been a way for me to process my emotions and a way to kind of make sense of the world. So the fact that my anxiety and my intrusive thoughts were kind of creeping into this sacred practice, because of the way I was going about doing it, by doing this challenge, was honestly poisoning the very thing that I love. I definitely like the drawings that I did. I like look at them and I'm like, I don't feel any negative feelings when I look at them. I think they're really beautiful. I think there's something great about each of them. I really liked the process of drawing each of them, but I think honestly the thing that caused all of the negativity was the rigidity of having to do this, instead of, I didn't feel like I was choosing to do it. I felt like I had to do it. It wasn't all bad. I learned a lot. And I think now that I've had literal months to reflect, that I would do this again. Like if I were in that moment again, then I would choose to do this challenge again, because it really revealed the way that I was thinking about my artwork. Like I was in this productivity mindset. I was very obsessed with making lots of art because I do feel behind, because I'm 34 and I'm just starting, and this will be my third career, and I just kind of feel like I'm in a hurry because I don't feel it, like the shifting sands of time are under my feet, and every day that goes by that I don't paint a masterpiece is another day where I'm not a successful artist. And that's disordered thinking, and that's a really unhealthy way to think about something that you're supposed to enjoy doing, that you do for your own peace. And the truth is, friends, that there is no time limit. We get to change and grow, and there's no time limit for becoming the thing you want to become. There's no rule that says you have to be a certain age to start a new career or start living out your dream. There's no age limit on becoming an artist. There's no age limit on becoming a musician or a screenwriter or a director or a filmmaker or a carpenter or, literally anything. You get to make your life what you want it to be. You don't have to limit yourself. And the most wonderful thing happened after I did this challenge, I have gotten back to the studio recently. I'm recording this in December, and all of this video was shot back in September, I think. I really took a step back after this challenge to think about what I wanted to do with the YouTube channel, with my art, and I was really struggling to square the fact that I wasn't being productive and the goals that I had in mind. But after this challenge was kind of a catalyst, though, in my life. I started taking classes, proper drawing classes, which I haven't taken since I was in college, which was, 2011. So, we're super rusty on those technical skills, and a lot of the things that I was frustrated with when I was completing this challenge were drawing problems. So that's a really important step, because to be able to do something successfully, you have to learn how to do it, right? So I was just like really mad at myself for not being able to do this thing that I think I was like, well, I'm intrinsically talented. I've been doing it since I'm a child, so why do I need to? No, you need some of those technical skills, and you need to practice them. So that's one thing I'm super grateful to myself, I guess, for starting, because subsequent pieces and sketches and at least literally everything that I've done since starting my drawing classes has been so much easier, and it's really all about the technical skills that I'm learning. The other thing that sort of came of this challenge, not directly or not like right after I quit this challenge, but actually 3 weeks ago, Kelsey Rodriguez put out a video on her favorite art books, and she mentioned Working the Artist's Way. And you've probably maybe heard of it. And I had heard of it from friends in the past. And if something just keeps coming up in your life, like a book or, a person, or, you're supposed to take that message, right? So I ordered the book, and I started reading it, and I started working it, and I started realizing that I have been forcing my way through some of these wounds, just trying to get to the page, and truly, if you work the program, it will work for you. And if you're listening to this right now and you're struggling with your creativity in any sense, working the artist's way is the most powerful thing you can do. You do it on your own, and it's a wonderful way to open up a conversation with yourself about why you are the way you are. And it's a great path to self-love. It's a great path to not being fearful of creating. And I'm saying this to you as a person who still is suffering from some of that fear and not taking some of the risks that I want to take as far as my art goes. And I hope that if you're hearing this and it makes sense to you, or it stirs something inside you, that you will get the book. If you don't have money, go to the library and get the book. If you promise you, if you have a notebook and a pencil and a library card, that you will, if you live somewhere where you have a library, and they don't have the Artist's Way, then ask for it. If you feel like you should work this program, then make it happen. I do also want to talk about some of my paintings, because I loved these little watercolor paintings, and that's why I say, like, I did get a lot out of the challenge, even though I didn't finish it, and I did learn a lot. I loved working on those little watercolor paintings, and this actually kind of forced me to figure out how to do like acrylic sketches in my sketchbook and how it works for me. And it definitely, but when I say it forced those changes, it really did. It forced me to figure out these things, and that took a lot of energy. So by this time, when I started with the acrylic, I started to get really down on myself, because my well was dry. I had spent all my creative energy trying to make all these little portraits happen. And by this point, I was pushing and pushing. And I'm pushing with a medium that, at this point, I'm not really all that good with. I had just jumped back into acrylic painting, and I remember this section, I think there are going to be 8 portraits on this page. They were just, each one a struggle, a kind of like a battle. And sometimes you have to do those things on the page or the canvas or whatever medium you work in and on. You sometimes will find that you have to struggle through it. From my teaching background, I know that is true. It's part of educational theory. It's called productive struggle. But when you are the one struggling, you have to be able to recognize when the struggle becomes unproductive, and when you're kind of losing the battle, I guess. When you start getting down on yourself, when you start criticizing yourself a lot, that's a really good indicator that you need to take a step back. And that's definitely something that I learned from doing this challenge. Since then, I've completed a commission, and for as an example, I did several sketches for it before I actually, made the final sketch and transferred it to my paper to be painted. And I realized that I used to be really afraid to do that I was really afraid to sketch something more than once, because I thought that once it was out, it was out. Like, I literally thought that I couldn't reproduce it. And that's one of the things that these drawing classes are helping, is that I'm actually an artist, and if I draw something once, I can draw it again. I have the tools. I know how to measure and translate what I see in real life or on another page onto the page that I'm drawing on. So, all that is to say that if you want to do this challenge, you will learn a lot. You absolutely will. And you just have to decide if you want to take on a challenge that will force you to confront some things about your art and yourself that, might be unpleasant. It's worth doing. It's definitely difficult for any level artist. It might not be fun. It might not help in the way you think. But I don't want to discourage anyone from practicing their art in this way, because a lot of people do it and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. So if you were thinking also of taking a crack at the 100 Heads challenge, I think you should. I don't think it's necessarily, for me even, it wasn't a bad experience. It was difficult trying, but it did bring up some things that I needed to deal with. And for that, I'm very grateful. And I would do it again, I think, if I had the choice to go back, like I said. So that's pretty much it. You get to see the rest of the paintings right to the end. I'm gonna tell you, I hope you found some solace in this video, or you got some information you needed, or you heard something you needed to hear. And I wish you all the best. I wish you happiness. I wish you creativity. And I hope to see you again here on my channel for more talking about art and for more art. But this is me signing off. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And like this video if you liked it. And comment below if you have any questions or just want to keep the conversation going. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye-bye. Hey! So I wanted to show you in person the last drawing that I made for this challenge. Is this guy. But anyway, I didn't want to leave this video with the takeaway of like, you shouldn't do this. Because I don't want to discourage anybody from doing this challenge. I think it's a really good thing to do. And I did learn a lot. I learned a lot. It worked. But I think if I if you are going to do this challenge, then A, pick a medium that you know you won't get tired of using, and B, if it isn't working out, don't put pressure on yourself to fix it or do better. Just learn what you learn from it and move on. You know, not finishing the 100 Heads challenge is not a value statement about you as an artist or as a person. So if you finish, you finish. If you don't, that's cool too. You're going to learn either way. And that's the point. At least that's the point of what I've been doing with my artistic endeavors lately. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. And you can keep up with me and see what I do next. I'm trying to, record more frequently now. So hopefully we'll get back to the weekly posting basis. It really does take a lot out of you to make a video every week. So we'll see. And this is me signing off. Enjoy your week.